Chapter 1.
I suppose you're happy about the outcome of the election.
Rabbi David Small turned and saw that it was Joshua Titzik, a thin little man with a long nose and a mouth twisted in a perpetual sneer, who had fallen in step with him. The evening service had just ended, and Rabbi Small was strolling back to his car in the parking lot, savoring the balmy air of the October Indian summer. The rabbi was thin and pale and walked with a scholarly stoop, although still under 40. He fixed near-sighted eyes on Titzik and said, "If you mean that the election of Chester Kaplan and his friends signifies a renewed interest in the temple's religious function as opposed to its social function, then of course I am. If, on the other hand, you're suggesting that I had anything to do with it, then you're mistaken. I never meddle in temple politics."
Oh, I'm not saying you campaigned for him, but don't try to tell me you're not happy he won.
"All right," the rabbi said good-humoredly. "I won't." He had found over the years that it was pointless to argue with the perpetually dissatisfied Mr. Titzik.
And don't kid yourself about any religious revival, Rabbi. Organization and ordinary politics did it. For over a year now, Chet Kaplan has been holding these at-homes every Wednesday evening.
"I've never been to one."
"No?"
Titzik was frankly incredulous.
"Well, take a small town like Barnard's Crossing. What can you do of an evening? There's the Friday night service at the temple, and you know half the people come just because it's a place to pass the time. Saturday nights maybe you go out to dinner or a movie, and that's pretty much it. So when Kaplan started these at-homes, it was something to do, a place where you could meet people. You'd have a cup of coffee or a glass of beer and a couple of donuts."
"But what do you do there, Mr. Titzik?"
"Talk, mostly about the temple because it's a common interest. We discuss religion. Everybody is an expert on that. Sometimes Kaplan will have somebody come to give a little lecture. He's got a friend from New Hampshire, Rabbi Metzik." He laughed. "I told him once we ought to start a vaudeville team, Metzik and Titzik. Well, this Rabbi Metzik, he goes in for meditation. He talks on Judaism and other religions like Christianity and Buddhism and how they relate to our religion."
And then Chester Kaplan tops it off with a political speech?
"Oh, no, nothing crude like that, but he has this group that are into this meditation business with him, the guys that were on his slate for board of directors. They're like an inner circle. Sometimes, I understand, they go up country to a camp they rent for a couple of days and have all kinds of discussions. And pray, for all I know, because this Rabbi Metzik, he's involved in it. But then the rest, those who came because it was something to do, well, most felt where their host was running for president, they ought to give him their vote. Then just before the election, the inner circle guys, they phoned everybody who had ever attended a meeting. They got the names from a guest book Chet has you sign."
Rabbi Small nodded. "Yes, I can see where that might be effective. But let me suggest another possibility. As in all small towns, there's only one synagogue here in Barnard's Crossing because the Jewish community isn't big enough to support more than one. So it was established as a conservative temple in order that the Orthodox on one side and the Reform Jews on the other can both feel not too uncomfortable. It's a compromise. My guess is that the conservatives have a clear majority, but there are shades of opinion among them running from almost orthodox to almost reform. Most years it has been two men from the middle, two conservatives, who were running against each other. This year the other candidate, Mr. Golding, was definitely of the reform wing, so the orthodox and the near-orthodox and most of the straight conservatives voted for Mr. Kaplan. It was probably as simple as that. When they reached the rabbi's car, a sudden thought occurred to him. "Whom did you vote for, Mr. Titzik?" Titzik smiled deprecatingly.
"Look, Rabbi, I drank his beer."